Hello, hello. My name is Marcus, and welcome to the Cat Golf Show. Now, you may notice immediately something different about me today. And no, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about everything else. No, I'm just kidding. I'm talking about the bucket hat. Yeah, I'm not usually a hat guy. If it wasn't plainly obvious from the other videos where I'm not wearing a hat. But I'm looking chopped today. I'm looking busted. My hair is quite messy. It's frizzy. You know, that's being and having curly hair in the heat will do to you. So I just didn't feel like trying to deal with the consequences and afterwards of filming this and feeling self-conscious. So I just decided to put a hat on, and now I realize I may look fucking ridiculous with this hat.
Oh fuck!
But it's like at this point I don't care. I've stopped caring. So I'm not sure how long this video will be today. I've not really planned anything out. I don't really have much. I don't have much going on, but I also don't know what to say specifically. Like I had one idea specifically. The title of this video, shock, a spoiler, whatever. And I also just wanted to kind of talk about some other stuff that's happened, I guess. So, I've mentioned before that I have written a novel. Okay, it's the most interesting thing about me. Unironically, I have written a novel. It is a horror novel. FYI, I'm not going to say what it's about just yet because it's still in the works. But I had given it to quite a few people in my life, like friends, family, etc. And most of them read it, gave it back to me. There was one specifically, a guy that I went to school with, who I was waiting on reading it because he writes screenplays and he's interested in screenplays and film and stuff like that. So he's really good at storytelling and that kind of thing. So I was like, I want him to read this and give me feedback on it. Obviously, because he's super involved in making creative writing and just that kind of thing. So he finally got back to me. I sent it to him probably in February, I think, when I finished it, and he got back to me after a couple months, recently, and he was like, "Yeah, I finished it," and he sent me an email with his critiques, and he sent me a PDF with the novel in it and such. But yeah, basically his comments boiled down to this still feels like a draft. So I'm sort of reeling from that realization. He had a lot of critiques, a lot of not necessarily critiques, a lot of things that I could improve on in the story. He said, and his ultimate conclusion with this still feels like a draft, and that really hit me hard. He wasn't rude or anything. He's a very constructive guy when it comes to criticisms and such. So I'm not offended by his comments at all. In fact, I'm honored that he took the time to read this and be so thorough in his critiques. But it's just disappointing because I thought I was further along than I am. Him saying this feels like a draft when no one else said that, it kind of it's a kick in the balls a little bit, because I'm just I was expecting him to read this, and sure, I expected him to have feedback for me. I expected him to have critiques for me, but I wasn't expecting him to be like, this needs a lot more work. And that's essentially what his comments boiled down to. And it sucks, when you get through a project which is as big as a novel, and then the person that you waited and counted on most sort of say good thing about it says that it still needs work and it feels like a draft. It kind of stings, brother. But there's nothing I can do. We're gonna call about and talk about it, and he's gonna go more in depth. And I have a bunch of questions that I wrote out to ask him about to specify. I don't want to rewrite it again. I've rewritten it a dozen times at this point. I really don't feel like rewriting the entire thing. So I'm hoping that what he wants me to fix, I can just insert instead of having to rewrite again, because I'm not having it in me to rewrite the entire thing again, and I don't want to. So if I can, I'm gonna try to add the extra content where I see fit and where we discuss, I guess, that I can, I guess. And we'll see where it will just go from there, I guess. It's just it's sad, bro. It feels tragic because I was really hoping to start talking to agents and shit and start getting my stuff together, but looks like I still got more work to do. And some people are encouraging me to start a new thing before I go through with this one, and I'm like, no, I cannot start a new project until I get this one under wraps and fully finished. So that's what's been going on there. This is obviously, I'm recording this after the 4th of July, so post 4th of July, I guess you could say. Sorry if I'm low energy. I'm tired. I got 4 hours of sleep last night, so for whatever reason, I have a problem where I stay up later than my bedtime. So I usually go to bed. I try to go to bed at 7:30 because that's usually, if I go to bed, if I'm in bed by that time, then I can get to sleep and get enough time to wake up at 4 in the morning, which is when I wake up like a psychopath to go to the gym. So I've been staying up too late these past couple nights. I've been up till 8:30, 9ish. I didn't go to sleep according to my smartwatch until 8:45 last night. So didn't get that and my sleep was kind of tumultuous, so I didn't get the most sleep, and I'm a little bit tired and low energy today just because I'm like I said, I'm feeling the shock waves from obviously having that discussion with having that email, receiving that email from my friend. But yeah, 4th of July, it feels, we didn't do fireworks or anything with my family. I went to see my family, and we went to hang out with our neighbors, a neighbor that we've known since we were kids, since we moved into where we lived, where I lived with my family, you know. Um, it feels weird. Like the past couple 4th of Julys, I've just not really felt the need to celebrate, and I haven't celebrated for the past, I think, 2 years in a row. I just have not done anything. Like I've not gone to see family or anything, but I did have a partner at the time that I did that. So now, as I am single, I was like, fuck it, I'm not doing anything else. I was playing Mario Kart World. I unlocked mirror mode, woo woo, and I've been trying to like get 3 stars in all the cups in mirror mode now. So, yeah, I was like, I'm gonna be here doing this all day, and might as well go hang out with some people, go hang out with some friends that I haven't seen in a long time. So I was like, fuck it, let's do it. But yeah, we didn't do fireworks or anything. We just sort of had dinner, and we just like talked and laughed, and it was actually a great time. I was super nervous to go because I haven't seen them for years. Like I haven't seen them since I was a teenager. They have the neighbors have kids that are like me and my siblings' ages. So it's like we used to be friends when we were kids, and we sort of drifted apart as time went on. So I haven't seen them in a long time, but you know, they were shocked to see us because we'd all grown up so much since the last time they saw us, and it was a fun reunion. It was a cute moment. We had fun times laughing about the state of our political climate in this country. Which, I mean, I guess, I wonder if that counts as celebrating 4th of July. Like, people are being like, bro, don't get mad at me for celebrating the 4th of July. I can do whatever I want. Like, sure, you can. It's so funny. As I was driving to go and see my family and, like, hang out with our neighbors, I saw a guy drove past me on the other side of the highway with a pickup truck. And he had 2 flags on the back. One was an American flag, and one was half an American flag and half a Confederate flag. So I'm just like, that's awesome. I love this country. That's awesome. Happy 4th, everybody. But yeah, we didn't do fireworks or anything like that. We haven't. I don't think my family's done them for the past 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. I think actually, no, that's not true. They didn't do them last year, maybe, or this may be their first year they haven't done them. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been over there like for the 4th for the last 2 years. So, but yeah, that was a fun time. I just wanted to mention that. I guess like I do go out occasionally and do things and hang out with people and stuff, and I'm definitely a cool person that has a life outside of YouTube and writing and that kind of thing. I had a doctor's appointment today. That went okay. I'm getting my dose of Lexapro upped a little bit because I told my doctor that I feel like my anxiety is coming back tenfold and my depression has been sort of rearing its head again, and I'm not really a fan of that. So she was like, yeah, we'll up your dose since you've been on it for about a month now, and we'll see how that does for you. So yeah, that's exciting. So yeah, the title of this video, recently in a phone call, I had a phone call with someone. And they said to me, like, I have a bunch of friends that give off, like, cool bi energy. Bi, B-I, not guy. Cool bi energy, as in bisexual. And I asked them, I was like, do I give off that energy? And she was like, yeah, a little bit. I was like, dope, cool. So what does that mean for me? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I just thought that would make an interesting video title. Like, that story really doesn't go anywhere. I just thought it was very interesting. Shout out. You know who you are if you're watching. Shout out to you. But yeah, I guess I have cool bi energy, and I think that's a good thing. I think that's a cool thing. I feel like so many men are afraid to give off cool bi energy, to be not so tough and masculine all the time, but to be more vulnerable and emotional and I want to say fruity, but more flamboyant in their presentation, in the way they talk and act. Not claiming to be gay and then, not being gay. Not that kind of thing. Just being openly emotional and showing your emotions and not trying to put on a tough guy persona. And I think I do that. I think I do embody that. And I think I'm proud of myself for doing that, because so many men don't do that. And I feel like it stunts us. Like, there's a reason why, the male sewer slide rate is so high. It's because I feel like we like to brush the problems that men face societally under the rug, I feel like. And I feel like they're owed more, we as a gender, as a group, are owed more than that. Just like patriarchy affects women, definitely, but it also affects men. And I feel like it affects men, it negatively impacts men, almost just as much, just because we have to put on these facades all the time. We're expected to behave a certain way, and in a certain way that so many men fall short of, not in a derogatory way, in a way that's reasonable, because the standards that we've set for men and women are just like unreasonably high in society. And I just wish that we would just abolish those systems, but obviously it's very difficult. It's very ingrained, as I said in a previous video. Those types of things are very, very ingrained in society, so it's very hard to break free of them. But yeah, just today at the gym, I was talking to one of my friends, and he was like, yeah, dude, I almost fucking, offed myself. was like, I had a loaded, and it jammed before I could actually do the thing. And I'm laughing, but it's not fucking funny. It was actually like tragic. And I texted him after, a little bit after. I was like, I'm glad it jammed, bro. Like, I'm glad you're still here. And he was like, me too, man. Me too. And I was like, bro, that's why it's so important to tell your homies you love them. I feel like that's why I love my friends so much, because we're not afraid to say we love you to each other. And it's like saying I love you to a guy for the first time, for like a guy friend, is weird, because you're like, I guess, as for me personally, as a man, you think that that is reserved for family members and women, like girlfriends or partners, whatever. But no, you can definitely say it to your friends, and I highly recommend it. It fills me with a sense of joy and pride to know that I say that and it's reciprocated. Like, I know that I love my friends and my friends love me just as much, if not more, It's just a very special thing, and I think that's very important for men to be in those types of friendships with other men, to build ourselves community and in non-toxic ways, And I think my friends give off cool bi energy too, in their own ways. They give off cool bi energy as well, because obviously we're not afraid to say we love you, and we're not afraid to like hug each other and stuff like that. It's the bar is in hell, but no, it's like it can be difficult to overcome the stereotypes that are associated with that type of behavior, especially as a man, growing up in a society that puts pressure on you as a man to behave a certain way. These are my thoughts on this Monday afternoon, just pondering life, sort of just coasting by, Bye. But yeah, it's just a shorter video today. It's so funny. I upload my regular like cat golf episode, and it doesn't get that many views, and then I upload my Beach Boys video, and it gets double the views. And it's just funny to me. It's like, go off, watch the video. I mean, I'm glad you guys like that one. I probably at some point will rank my favorite albums, like just out of the whole list of their whole discography. Maybe I'll make like a top 5 album thing, just because people seem to like those videos. I don't know. I don't want to be known as that guy, though. Like the whole fun of having a new channel, which I said in a previous video, is being able to do basically whatever you want with your channel. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just sort of like trying out different things and experimenting, just being open, keeping my mind open to doing different things. So, yeah, that's about it. That's the long and the short of this. Just hitting a slow point in my life right now. I feel like I'm just coasting by. Yeah, just trying to live my life, brother. Trying to get new experience max. You know what I mean? Trying to find joy in the day to day. The less time I spend like ruminating about the inevitability of my death, the more time I spend living, the better my life becomes. Donkey Kong's coming out soon, the new game for the Nintendo Switch 2, and I'm excited for that. I got that shit on pre-order. So that's a reason to stick around. It's a pretty big reason for me to stick around. And also, I can't forget Metroid Prime 4 is also coming out probably the end of this year. And I pre-ordered an art book. They have like a Prime retrospective art book coming out. It was supposed to come out in June of this year, and I got an Amazon notification. It's like, oh, it got pushed back to October. So I'm thinking that's around the time that the game's going to be coming out. Maybe it's probably going to come out this holiday season, like Christmas time. I'm assuming Metroid Prime 4. They're probably betting on it being a big release for them, because so many people bought the remaster Prime 1, Prime 4. The Metroid fans really showed up. So I'm wondering if in that space of time, because we got from now until ostensibly the end of the year to get remasters or like ports of Prime 2 and 3. So I'm hoping 2 and 3. I don't know if that showed up. I'm hoping that we actually do get ports or remasters of those two games, because I've been just aching to replay Prime 2. That's probably my favorite Prime game. Even though I think I have the most memories playing Prime 3 with my brothers, because we were scared of Prime 2. But yeah, I'm hoping that they port those. But yeah, there's stuff to look forward to. Superman is coming out this weekend. I may go and see that with my friend. I'm not sure, or I may go by myself. We'll see. But I'm kind of excited for that too, even though I'm not a big Superman fan. But James Gunn, I'm a fan of his, so I'll go support him. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like. Send it to a friend. If you like my content, subscribe. I really appreciate it. And as always, ta. Take it easy.